Got my eyes straight ahead, got my head in the game. With the red light on, I'm just waiting for the change. Keep my head down low.
Well, it's been an interesting week when it comes to police news around the state of Queensland. Police and the Miles government are constantly, in my opinion, letting us down. So, one of the most significant recommendations that came from the Commission of Inquiry into how Queensland Police, QPS, how they responded to domestic violence. So one of the most significant recommendations was they were to set up an independent integrity unit by May, and that was to investigate all complaints against police. The unit was supposed to sit inside the state's corruption watchdog, the Crime and Corruption Commission, and was set to bolster integrity, accountability, and trust in the police service. But anyway, so obviously that hasn't happened. So at the moment, it still seems unlikely that the Queensland government, that Miles government, would be able to establish the recommendation before it goes into caretaker mode ahead of the state election in October. So let's just check out this video, what's happened just recently with some issues. First, this was reported on Channel 7 News, and we're going to talk about what's happened here. This is a case that's happened with officers in the Gold Coast, and we've also got some other things to talk about with officers in Mareeba. On the right side, they haven't had any shootings. So there's that. No shootings. But yeah, look, you can't just blame QPS. You do have to look at the Miles government, and obviously Mark Ryan sits at the head of all of this when it comes to the government side of things. But will he ever have to actually face the music? Now, I'm hoping that he will not get voted in. I'm assuming he won't. Surely the people in that area where he is will see how bad a job he's done, and he will not win in the next election. Hopefully Labor are all out altogether. But anyway, let's check out this video. Few issues anyway. Channel 7.
On the Gold Coast, there's no question this man should go home, but the treatment he receives by a police officer is another thing.
So you need to stand there, shut the up and listen to me. Got it?
Prodded and pushed.
Are you going to listen now? Buddy, are you going to listen now?
Yeah, yes sir.
Okay, so
He's arrested, then released and arrested again, along with his friends while they're trying to leave. The charges against them are eventually dropped in court. The officer is now subject to a disciplinary investigation.
We have very high expectations of the Queensland Police Service, and I know they have high expectations of themselves.
Almost 12 months ago, the Attorney-General admitted there is a problem.
The disciplinary action that we've seen in the past from the police service doesn't meet communities' expectations.
After 7 News revealed 2 Gold Coast officers made vulgar comments about the body of a domestic violence victim, they were called to help.
This will not occur again because there is a different system in place.
The Coldrake Review into Culture and Accountability recommended an independent integrity unit within the Queensland Police Service.
These recommendations out of the Commission of Inquiry are complex.
The Police Commissioner has been working through that recommendation. It is complex.
So complex it's taken more than 20 months to even begin to be implemented. 7 News can reveal a working group has been set up, chaired by the Public Service Commissioner, with the first meeting scheduled for next week.
This is a complicated recommendation. The Attorney-General's got the lead on it.
But so far, it's slow going.
And Rachel Baxter, this could all change after the election.
Well, it could, Max. Good evening to you. The Attorney-General is retiring at the end of October, so the responsibility will be passed on to whoever takes her place. That, of course, could be someone from the LNP if the opposition wins. They say they're committed to continue with the process. As for the Police Commissioner, he was unavailable for comment today, but QPS says it supports the reforms and referred us back to the Attorney-General's office. In a statement tonight, the police union says it will be on that working group and looks forward to starting progress. Max?
Thanks, Rachel.
So you heard Mark Ryan there, and also the Premier also say that it was a complicated issue. We all understand it's complex and complicated. Yvette Darth says it's complex. The Premier says it's complex. Mark Ryan says it's complex. If it's that complex and you three clowns can't take care of it, can't work it out, well, then obviously you're getting paid way too much to do nothing. I mean, they made these recommendations over a year ago. You still haven't been able to achieve anything. Not to mention the police commissioner. Between the four of you, you're getting paid the best part of $2 million a year between four people. And it's too complicated to really work out, too complicated to get the integrity unit up and running. I just want to read another article that came through about the same subject. So this one here came through from ABC News. It says that experts are concerned over delays establishing the integrity unit that would stop police investigating themselves. Obviously, when they say stop police investigating themselves, they're talking about the CCC, where I used to work. So they second other police there. So it's basically talking about, they'll stop that. I think that's the main concern. So it says that experts have condemned the Queensland government for failing to fulfill a landmark recommendation to stop police investigating their own staff 20 months after it was handed down. But this is the thing, it's complex, it's complicated. So, you can't expect too much of us. You pay us a truckload of money, you can't expect that much. One of the most significant recommendations from the Commission of Inquiry into how Queensland Police Service, QPS, responds to domestic violence was to set up an independent integrity unit by May to investigate all complaints about police. So this Tim Prenzler, a professor of criminology at the University of the Sunshine Coast, he said the delay in establishing the unit was one of the worst public policy implementation failures he'd seen. It was one of the worst that he'd seen. I mean, anyway, Professor Prenzler said the recommendation was an unprecedented opportunity to correct the mistakes of the past, but that a lack of action left Queensland with a thoroughly discredited system of police investigating police. So like I said, they've been tasked with this opportunity, and yet they've just, I can't even say if they've dropped the ball. I don't know that they wanted to take the ball up and run with it in the first place. I don't. They all pay a lot of lip service, like it said at the end of that Channel 7 news report, that the police, QPS, they're all for the recommendations, they stand by it, and I don't think the hierarchy really are. I don't think they really want these. They really want this unit to move forward. I don't think they are. If they're honest, I don't think they're really behind it. I think it'll show too many flaws within the system that they currently have. At the moment, they have a system where police obviously investigate other police, and if they want to apply pressure, they can apply pressure. They will have, they've always got leverage there. They've always got someone in the system, someone inside who knows someone. You've got other police in, and this isn't a matter of police who don't know other police. The problem with it all is that you've got very high-ranking officers who've been around inside in the job for decades and decades. Okay, it's not like you've just got police who have been sitting there on the sidelines. You're going to have police inspectors and upwards who've been involved. They've moved around the whole state. They know all the other high-ranking officers who are around. they are the ones at the head of it all. They will not want to be unable to influence these investigations that are going on. And the issue is that a lot of these investigations cover up shortfalls of the Queensland Police Service itself. They at the moment they're able to cover up these investigations, and they don't want someone else coming in and unearthing too much, just taking the scab off and showing the QPS and all their shortcomings. That's not what they want. They want to be able to control the narrative, and that's what they do. And speaking of controlling the narrative, I just want to quickly go through this other story, and this was about these officers in Mariba. So here it says, Queensland police officers suspended over alleged watch house assault, deprivation of liberty. Love that charge, deprivation of liberty. A lot of people don't realise how they could be charged with deprivation of liberty. Anyway, it's another story. So in short, 2 senior constables have been charged over an alleged incident involving a 23-year-old detained in Mariba. The officers have been accused of deprivation of liberty and assault occasioning bodily harm. 2 police officers have been charged. The Queensland Police Service said a 23-year-old man was being held in Mariba, west of Cairns, in January for property and assault offences at the time of the alleged incident. Both senior constables have been suspended from duty, and the men are expected to appear in Mariba Magistrates Court next month. A 51-year-old officer faces 1 count each of deprivation of liberty and assault occasioning bodily harm, and a 43-year-old officer is charged with 1 count of assault occasioning bodily harm. The circumstances surrounding the allegations are unclear. This is the issue, and this is why Queensland Police Service, in my opinion, aren't really behind having a separate integrity unit investigating police issues, because here the QPS does not tolerate, it says here, the QPS does not tolerate unlawful conduct by any members and take these allegations very seriously, they've said in a statement. This does not mean that the allegations against the members have been substantiated. And as the matter is now before the courts, we are unable to comment further. This is the issue. So the circumstances surrounding the allegations are unclear. Why are they unclear? They always come up with the excuse, well, the matters are before the courts, so we can't comment any further. Now, it's always the same with QPS. They can't comment when it suits them, because have you noticed that when it's other criminal cases, and if they'll put out something, say, well, this is in the public interest, so we need to tell everyone, because not just that it's in the public interest, it's in their interest. But when it comes to police matters, it's never in the public interest, and so they can't, because the matter's before the court, well, we can't talk too much about it right now. And this is why I don't think they're really behind a police integrity unit, because they don't want other prying eyes looking at what goes on behind closed doors, how these investigations really unravel. And I don't think, and I think at the moment they enjoy the support of the police union, and that's why the government I'm talking about, the Miles government, and that's why they're not pushing ahead with it either. And pretty soon we're going to be in caretaker mode for the next election. So who knows when or if it will even happen. It's only a recommendation that everyone says they support, which means that they really don't have to do it if they don't want to. I personally don't trust them. We need to send a clear message at the next election and vote them all out, and send a clear message when it comes to what we will tolerate when it comes to our Queensland Police Service. Integrity. Anyway, my name's Jay Fallon. Let me know what you think. Thanks for listening to The Slippery Slope.
And say it isn't real, and please don't go away. Just give me one more day. What if I could turn back time? I'd make you smile again. And if I could unbreak your heart, and we could start again. What What if I could? What if I could turn back time? I'd make you smile again. Again, if I could unbreak your heart and we could start again. We could start again. We could start again. We could start again.